It's been an outstanding start to the season for the New York Rangers. 4-0-1, 3-0 on the road. And this current road trip winds up in Montreal against the Montreal Canadiens. New York Rangers hockey on MSG Networks is presented by Chase. Hello, everyone. Welcome to New York Rangers hockey. Sam Rosen along with Joe Micheletti. And the New York Rangers playing some outstanding hockey, coming off a big 4-1 win in Toronto, and coming into this game tonight, Joe, looking very good.
Well, Sam, they haven't lost in regulation yet, and they're finding different ways to win games. And that's a sign of a good team, because as Peter Laviolette told us again this morning, he said, we're not playing well enough defensively yet. We're making mistakes all over the ice in different areas, so we continue to work on that. But while they're continuing to work on that, Sam, they keep finding ways to win. That's a sign of a really good team.
We're going to help out the coach on defense by bringing back one of his top defensemen. Ryan Lindgren was injured in preseason. He's been out to start the season. He is back and ready to go, and the coach calls him a heart and soul player every night.
Yeah, I mean, that's his thing, right? To defend, keep the puck out of the net, play physical, do whatever it takes to win, block shots. That's all of Ryan Lindgren. So to have him back in the lineup really gives this team a boost, I think. Again, he'll play physical when the opportunity is there. He's not a big player, but again, he'll do anything to win. He'll block shots, he'll protect his teammates, he'll get involved with anyone, and every now and then he'll throw in the odd goal as well. So great to have him back in the lineup.
And you know what also helps the defense? The goaltender, the man between the pipes. And Igor Shesterkin has been outstanding to start the season. 3-0-1, but in those 3 wins, he stopped 94 of 96 shots.
You know, we talked about the Rangers scoring a lot of goals, and Panarin is right up there with 12 points, but Igor Shesterkin's been their best player, because to me, he won the game at home against Detroit. They went 4-1. He was outstanding. The third period the other night, last game against Toronto, he was a big reason when it was a 2-1 game where he kept making save after save after save after save against a very good Toronto team. And then the Rangers were able to score a couple of empty net goals for the 4-1 victory, but he's just been absolutely terrific. So when you have these breakdowns that the coach is talking about all over the ice, when you have that guy back there helping you out, that's why you have a record that's 4-0-1.
It's always special for a player to return home and play in front of his family and friends. And that's a special night tonight for Alexis Lafreniere, who's off to a great start this season, Joe.
Yeah, well, and all the French media, they were all crying yesterday because they came to practice, and guess who wasn't practicing? Lafreniere didn't practice yesterday. He was questionable about playing tonight, but he was there this morning, and they gathered around his locker, boy, and they come in droves to talk to him, because he's become such an outstanding player, Sam. He's done so much for this team. You mentioned the 5-game point scoring streak. It started in Pittsburgh with that beautiful goal. He and Panarin and Trocheck have been something really special over the course of the last 12 months, and they've continued that to start this year. And Lafreniere scores the first goal for the Rangers against Toronto to get that going. Boy, he's turned into a wonderful player.
And you can see in our Infosys stat line the numbers that Joe was talking about. 5-game point scoring streak, 3 goals, 3 assists. Tied for the second longest season opening point streak by a Ranger age 23 or younger. This young man has a very bright future and is playing with tremendous confidence. Another player playing with great confidence is Chris Kreider. He has been such a rock for this organization since being a first-round draft pick, and he's off to another strong start. 5 goals in 5 games.
You know, it's so hard to score goals in this league, and every year he seems to make it look easier. How do you do that? Now, you do it, I think, because he deserves so much of the credit for the work he's put in on his game. He's become one of the league's best penalty killers, so he scores shorthanded goals as he did in Pittsburgh. Around the front of the net, with his size and his ability to find loose pucks, difficult to stop. His ability to deflect pucks. No one better in the league at deflecting pucks than him. And then, of course, with Zibanejad on one side, he always knows where Kreider is around the net. And he's got, this whole 5 goals to start the season, and we haven't talked a lot about it, but he's right up there in the goal-scoring department.
We're a few minutes away from the start of tonight's game. They'll be honoring the Montreal championship teams of the late 70s. Meanwhile, this young Montreal team is trying to learn how to win under Marty St. Louis. We'll take a look at the current Canadiens in a moment. is on that line with Cole Caulfield, and in the middle is Montreal's captain, Nick Suzuki.
Well, Nick Suzuki hasn't gotten going yet. He's got 5 assists on the season, doesn't have a goal yet. He's a tremendous two-way centerman and the captain of this team. And as Marty told us yesterday, all it takes is one game for him to get going. So they're looking for him to really find his game, to open things up, because once he gets going, he can score. He can score goals. He sets up goals. He's reliable defensively, kills penalties, does a little bit of everything, but he hasn't scored a goal yet. They're looking for him to get going. As far as Kirby Dach is concerned, Sam, he got hurt in the second game of the season last year, missed the entire season with a knee injury, and this is a player that Marty St. Louis says is going to be a star in the league, and he hasn't gotten going yet because, again, he missed all that time. So they're going to put him on the wing, move him up, because Slavkovsky, who normally over on that side, is hurt, and so Kirby Dach is going to go with those 2 top players, and they're hoping that he gets going. But it's taken a while because of the knee injury, but there's no doubt that he's got tremendous talent.
And one of the players you talked about, Joe, that is opening eyes, one of those young players, is a defenseman, not a big guy, Lane Hudson, out of Boston University. He's got moves that, whoa.
Boston
exciting.
College, Sam.
Boston
Oh,
College?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you can't say that.
I apologize.
But, here's the thing. He gets the puck, and there's a roar that goes up in this building because he's only 5'9", 162 pounds. And when he gets it, everybody just gets on the edge of their seat, and that you can just hear the roar throughout because he does things like this. He's just a wonderful skater, so shifty, so good with the puck, makes plays, and this is someone who's just 20 years old. This will be only his 9th NHL game tonight. And so he is, again, one of those players that gives Montreal Canadiens fans a lot of hope.
Now, defensively, they give up some goals. But one thing they do on defense is block shots. They lead the league in block shots. And one of the guys who leads the way is the veteran defenseman, Mike Matheson.
Yeah.
He's always in front of the puck.
So we talk about Hudson, who is 20. Mike Matheson is 30, coming off his best season with 62 points as well on the offensive side. He had played the 3rd most minutes on average of any player in the league last year, and he played all 82 games. And that's what he does, as you mentioned, Sam. He not only can contribute offensively, but block shots, kill penalties, play against the top players in the game. He'll play nearly half the game tonight, even though he got hurt a couple games ago, had to leave the game. But this is their veteran guy on defense that they really rely on an awful lot.
The ceremony is continuing on the ice. When we come back, it'll almost be time to drop the puck. Rangers and Montreal Canadiens coming up. Artemi Panarin, he is tied for the league lead in scoring with 12 points, tied for second in goals with 6. And how about Victor Mancini? A great road trip for him. His first NHL goal and assist.
3 for 3 on Saturday in Toronto. That's a continuation of a penalty kill last year that was third in the NHL.
Absolutely, and I think the biggest piece to winning that game in Toronto on Saturday was the penalty kill in the third period, where the Rangers had 6 clears. Now, there's a lot of disruption in the game because the Rangers are hunting. They are on the puck together, and they are moving as one. They've got great sticks. You can see it throughout the game, the period. You can see it through the whole season. And that's why the Rangers aren't giving up a lot of quality. Only 1 deflection allowed. That tells you that they're getting under sticks very well. Only 1 screen this season allowed. That means they're moving bodies and boxing out. And I can tell you right now, when the goalie starts to play it up, there's frustration with being able to stay in zone as a team. And that's why I feel at that moment it really did break the back of the Toronto Maple Leafs. They lost faith in the hockey game because of what the Rangers did to them and really frustrate them on the power play.
And that last line of defense is pretty special, too. How much has Igor Shesterkin been responsible for the PK being successful?
Well, that's the big piece, right? And look, he's got a .950 save percentage on the scoring chances that he's faced so far on the penalty kill. 1 goal against, 20 scoring chances. It doesn't get much better than that.
Speaking of not much better, how about another carryover element from the Rangers from last year, and that's in the face-off circle. They were 7th at the end of last year, basically in the top 5 all year. This year, they're 3rd, and both Trocheck and Zibanejad are above 58% so far.
Well, what's neat is that, number one, they have 4 face-off goals coming directly off the face-off, leading the NHL. And part of the reason why they're so good on the power play is because you've got experience with Trocheck and Zibanejad. They can cheat a little bit. They can take chances because if one gets tossed out, the other one goes in. So you're able to have that going for you, and I think the experience really helps. It helps when you have veterans at the center ice position. You get a little more leniency in the circle. You've built up some credibility with the referees over the years, and I think that's why you have that advantage. And I think the Rangers understand that they ultimately want to get into their setup and start delivering scoring chances on the power play. So winning the faceoff really saves them 20 to 30 seconds before they get into their setup versus a face-off loss and then having to go the full length of the ice to get the puck. We saw it in Detroit with 2 goals. They did really well at being able to shift positioning, slide the blue line, get pucks through if it's there, but don't look for it if it's not, and that's the strength of Panarin, being able to shoot the puck the way he is. And we spoke earlier in the pregame about the decoy of Kreider.
I'm privileged enough from between the benches to be able to see the amount of conversations that Mika Zibanejad has during a game with the linesmen. He always wants to know their nuances. No 2 linesmen maybe do it the same way. He always wants to know what they do. When you were on the bench or when you were on the ice...
What are you implying?
I am implying exactly what I said. How much did you notice centermen wanting to know the intricacies of a faceoff? Because it really is an art.
It is. Yeah. It is. And look, everyone's trying to cheat just a little bit.
Yeah.
And one thing I used to hear from the coaches is, centerman, cheat with your feet because you can really pivot your feet around and knock your opponent's skates off, and then you can get them off kilter a little bit. I think the key is when you've got 2 guys, I'm just talking about the power play here, that can go in there and cheat. You can really cheat because if you get kicked out, okay, then Trocheck comes out and Zibanejad goes in and vice versa.
All right, so when you heard what Joe said in the pregame, he described the Montreal Canadiens as a rebuilding team. That said, you should expect to see scoring chances tonight for the Rangers. In what areas of the ice do you think that'll be most noticeable?
Right, so we spoke a lot about dots down, being able to play behind them, being able to get net front. But when you see the scoring chances here and the expected goals, you're really going to see a lot of play coming off of why are we scoring on these areas? Why are we getting these chances net front? So one thing I look at is how many deflections are you giving up? How many one-timers? How many rebounds and screens? Because when you look at teams that don't make the playoffs, they give up a lot of those. They don't get under sticks, they don't box out, they're not strong in front of their net for rebounds. And then what happens is they end up caving in, and you give up a lot of the most valuable scoring chances, which is the east to west stuff. So if you're watching the way the Rangers are really providing offense in front of the goaltender, keep in mind that Sam Montembeault last year led the NHL in save percentage on screens. So he's good through them, but so far this season, it's been a problem for the Montreal Canadiens being able to try and sort it out. And now they're falling into his shooting lane and screening him essentially. 3 goals against the LA Kings came from the point, and I see it as an issue right now for them. And when a team is dealing with an issue, don't let them off the hook. You know, keep pressing it.
And you mentioned Montembeault. 1-0 win on opening night against Toronto. 4-1 win over Ottawa. Good start there. Then a combined 8 goals against Pitt and LA. He's beaten the Rangers 4 times, 4-1-1 in his young career against them. What do you expect from him tonight?
See, look, I'll be honest. I don't think that Montreal has a win this season if it's not for Montembeault. He's played very well. He stole games against Ottawa and Toronto in his first 2 starts. But there is room up top. He's a slight goalie. He's not as big and robust looking in his stance as Stolarz was Saturday against the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's going to go down. He's given up a lot of goals over his glove, over his blocker. I think the Rangers should be targeting shots high. He goes down just a split second too soon, and he's a little late with his shoulder and his elbow. Play specifically down low. He will be in the reverse and not be able to move out of it the way that he should. So I think he can take care of him that way as well. But with all that said, he has played very well and is in the top 10 in goals saved above expected. He's one of the top guys statistically in the league so far in this short season.
And we mentioned the Rangers have had success recently visiting Montreal. 5-0-1 in their last 6 trips north. They are 7-2-1 overall in their last 10 against the Canadiens. When we come back, we promise Sam Rosen and Joe Micheletti will have the drop of the puck. Rangers and Montreal Canadiens coming your way next. Enjoy the game, everyone.
Beautiful day in Montreal and a great night for hockey. Rangers and the Montreal Canadiens. First of 3 meetings this season. Our Audi goaltending matchup. Igor Shesterkin, his 5th game of the season, 3-0-1. Look at that save percentage. .935, and as I mentioned, 94 saves on his 96 shots in his 3 wins. Sam Montembeault is 4-1-1 lifetime against the Rangers. And this season, 2.29 goals against, .932 save percentage, a 1-0 shutout over Toronto.
There he is. Got the headgear all secure and ready to go. And he's been just itching to get in the lineup.
Yeah, he's got
Sam,
his game face on.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a chance to apologize to me.
Apologize to you?
Yeah, I think you should.
Yeah?
Yeah. You should apologize to me for giving the wrong information for you. Elaine Hudson, go ahead. You can do that.
Elaine Hudson went to Boston University, and that's the first mistake Joe has made in the last 5 years.
All right, where's the apology?
I'm sorry.
That's your fault that I made that mistake.
You know, those
Don't do it again.
those Boston universities and colleges.
I'm all confused.
Underway. Montreal's last game was a shootout loss to the Islanders. They are 2-3-1. The Rangers have won games in Detroit and Toronto by scores of 4-1. And they are 3-0 on the road this season. 17, Josh Anderson ahead for Brendan Gallagher. Brendan Gallagher, 13 years in the league. He has been a tough customer. Takeaway, there's Hudson with a nice move. And his shot was blocked. The puck out to Jake Evans. To Hudson, the shot blocked by Jacob Trouba.
Trouba with 2 blocks, and that one, I believe he saved a goal.
Panarin comes in. Finds the trailer. Fox moves it. Score! Mika Zibanejad! A beautiful one-timer! And in the first minute of the game, the Rangers take a 1-0 lead.
Well, the Rangers stave off some pressure in their own zone. There's Hudson, 48. Watch, he'll end up with the puck here, and now here he goes. This shot blocked by Trouba there. And then Hudson will get another chance here, and Trouba stops him again. And now the Rangers go the other way. Take their time, set up the play, and there's the beautiful shot by Mika Zibanejad. And Steve and John were talking in the pregame show about Zibanejad not getting any scoring chances at even strength yet this season. Well, he got one there, and he finished.
Adam Fox set it up, his 7th assist of the season. Mika Zibanejad with 6 points over the last 4 games, including this one. Riley Smith able to move it across to Keandre Miller. Zibanejad with a pass to Riley Smith. In front for Kreider. That was broken up by Justin Barron. Rangers take it back. Shot by Smith. Glove save by Montembeault. Holds it.
Boy, what a shot from Mika Zibanejad. And that's why you hope when you watch him with the puck in a scoring position where he'd shoot the puck more often, because, you know, beautiful setup, great passing, and then there's the opening. And before Montembeault can get over to the other side to get set, Sam, that shot was past him, and the Rangers with the quick lead.
First assist of the game to Artemi Panarin. He has points in 6 straight games, Joe. 13 points
What a start.
this season.
What a start.
That's an icing on Montreal. And they'll bring it all the way down the Montreal end. Rangers skating well. They have been fast. Their transition game has been good, and you saw Jacob Trouba. One of the things he does so well is block shots.
Those are two really important block shots. And as Montreal caused a turnover and led to a couple of scoring chances, and thwarted by Trouba, and then they go down to the other end and turn that into a 1-0 lead.
Newhook brings it in. The setup and the shot went wide. Kapanen with a pass across went by Newhook. That's Oliver Kapanen, a rookie from Finland, 2nd-round draft pick, number 91. And that's Joel Armia, veteran forward. Peter Laviolette, as the team has points in each of its first 5 games, 4th time in Rangers history. Last time was 08-09. Christian Dvorak, number 28, in on the faceoff, number 55. Michael Pezzetta playing his first game of the season for the Canadiens. Faceoff win by Dvorak. Glove save by Shesterkin on the long shot by Mailloux. Logan Mailloux. And Marty St. Louis checking the tablet on the last play. He is in his 4th season. First season was an interim coach. He got the job in February. This is his 3rd full season as head coach of the Montreal Canadiens.
You know, he had his entire team on the bench when they had that pregame ceremony with all those Hall of Famers on the ice. And he says, you know what? He says, there's a pride that they have about wearing the Montreal jersey. He said,
and the Rangers score. It's Johnny Brodzinski. jostling to the puck.
Canadians thought it was icing.
Logan Mailloux thought it was icing. You're right, Joe. Rangers kept it alive. Johnny Brodzinski in the lineup tonight. Scores to make it 2-0 in the first 2:05 of the game.
Well, there's the face-off in the Ranger zone. And you see Montembeault put his arm up, but Mailloux, 24, he's one of the rookies on this team. He just kind of stops. And Edstrom gets in there and just puts it in front of the net where Johnny Brodzinski follows up. That's why you gotta listen for the whistle. And you've got to play it as if the whistle is not going to blow. That's Mailloux's playing. He just scored his first NHL goal last game against the Islanders.
Young defenseman. Josh Anderson with it. Johnny Brodzinski, he has been in and out of the lineup with Matt Rempe going in and out of the lineup. The head coach says he tries to balance the games that they play. And Brodzinski has given them a lot of speed.
It's a different look.
Yeah.
It just gives the line a different look.
Shesterkin out to play the puck. Great start for the Rangers. First goal in the first minute at 54 seconds. Then at 2:05, Brodzinski from Edstrom and Schneider. The Zibanejad goal was from Fox and Panarin. Trouba holding behind the net. Rangers complete a line change. Zibanejad, Kreider, and Riley Smith on. Justin Barron, number 52, gave it up to Zibanejad. He flipped it. It was tipped, and it went into the crease and was gloved by Montembeault.
Yeah, Sam, we're going to take another look at this face-off. And you watch this. Here's the linesman here who's dropping the puck. And the Rangers win the face-off. Now Schneider goes back, flips it up over everybody. And he puts his arm up, that linesman, as if it's icing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why they blew it down. Mailloux slowed down, but certainly Edstrom wasn't ahead of him.
Here's Zibanejad, saved by Montembeault. Good shot off the feed from Chris Kreider. Back the other way, Cole Caulfield. Caulfield fires, stick save. Oh, dangerous shot by Caulfield. He has been really good to start this season. Smith lost the puck. Moving in as Kirby Dach hit the side of the net. The back pass out of the zone. Montreal picking up their game a little bit. You can see the intensity rising. We're early in the game. Nearly 4 minutes in. Rangers have a 2-0 lead. Newhook. Pass across Armia. Armia, number 40. Checked there by Philip Hedl. The puck comes out to Mailloux. In with a shot, save. Tough shot by Logan Mailloux. Rangers force it out of the zone. And it's brought back. Struble. Jaden Struble, number 47, the young defenseman. Newhook, number 15. He played a couple of seasons with Colorado. Gets a shot off that's wide. Mailloux steps up. Took a hit from Will Cooley. Rangers bring the puck out. Hedl. Kakko to the right, Cooley left. Hedl's shot stick to side by Montembeault. Newhook able to work it across. Kapanen, Oliver Kapanen sending it in. As I mentioned, a former second-round draft pick.
Yeah, he went from the fourth-line wing, Sam, up to second-line center.
Here's Edstrom in deep. Pass block. He's got it back. That's in number 8. On defense, long shot by Trouba was deflected by Pezzetta. Chipped out by Kapanen. Pezzetta touch pass. Attempt to get it back. They send in deep. Heineman, number 51, is on. Emil Heineman from Sweden. Save! Shesterkin on a tough shot. Edstrom puts it in the Montreal zone. Now the pace is really picked up. Good effort by Sam Carrick. Rangers rolling 4 lines. Now the line of Panarin, Lafreniere, and Trocheck back on. Panarin digging for the puck in the corner. It's stopped behind the net by Heineman. He was hit by Miller. Out comes Lafreniere. Good pass to Panarin, but he gave it up to Josh Anderson. Brendan Gallagher. Off the end boards, Anderson. Taken away by Fox. Nice move with the stick. And taken back by Jake Evans. Got a chance. Save! Tough shot in the slot by Evans and a great save. Long shot knocked down in front. This is Hudson again. Hudson shoots, save, Shesterkin. The rebound behind the net, Brendan Gallagher, number 11, but it's taken away by Miller, who lifts it on the backhand all the way down, and it's on goal. Montembeault dropped it off to Justin Barron. Here comes Lane Hudson. Oh, taken away. Great play, Riley Smith in, scores! What an effort by Riley Smith! And the Rangers have a 3-0 lead. 6:40 into the game.
Yeah, Lane Hudson, the youngster. I mean, they're trying, Marty St. Louis is trying to get his players to think about when to make a move at the blue lines. Lane Hudson tries to make one here at his own blue line or just outside it. Riley Smith steals it and then beats Montembeault on the short side. It's a huge mistake by the youngster, and Riley Smith makes him pay. It doesn't feel like a 3-0 game, right? Montreal's had some really good opportunities. In fact, they've outshot the Rangers 8-7 and trail 3-0.
And the Rangers taking every advantage of their opportunities, and Montembeault has been beaten on some good shots. Zibanejad tried to move the puck, was blocked along the boards by Kirby Dach, number 77. Riley Smith unassisted at 6:40, and the Rangers with a 3-0 lead. Riley Smith with his second of the season. 4 points in the last 4 games for Riley Smith, who's adjusting to his new team very nicely. That was moved by Mancini, past Kreider, back into the Montreal zone by Matheson, number 8. On with Lane Hudson, number 48. Long pass ahead to Armia. Armia checked by Hedl. Armia controlling, fanned on the shot. Taken away by Capo Caco. Brought in by Will Cooley. Pass intercepted by Armia coming back. Turns it quickly.
That line, Sam, hasn't been on for an even strength goal this season. The Hedl line.
Big shot by Savard on his birthday, his 34th birthday. David Savard with the shot, the save by Shesterkin. Rangers, Mika Zibanejad, Johnny Brodzinski, Riley Smith, all goal scorers. One of Jacob Trouba's limited edition large prints from his Landing My Mark collection, presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers.
Well, how about his start to the game, Sam? I mean, his 2 blocks are what, this is when the score was even. No score, 0-0. That was one, Here's another one right there, and you see that wide open net. He blocks that. Rangers go down the other way and make it a 1-0 game.
Face-off win for Montreal. The shot by Mailloux is partially blocked. Sam Carrick under pressure. Moves it up the board. Stopped by Mailloux. His shot blocked by Edstrom, who got out there. Rangers doing a good job blocking shots. A whistle, a hand pass whistled against Montreal. We are 8 minutes, 18 seconds into the game. Rangers with a 3-0 lead.
There's the youngster. 2 games ago, they played the LA Kings at home. And early in that game, Mike Matheson got hurt. Hudson played 30 minutes and 5 seconds.
He's not a big guy, Joe, about 165 pounds.
Right. 5'9". But you know what? They all have growing pains. That's all they learn.
Here's Fox. Down the boards, Lafreniere. Wings it around for Trocheck. Little touch pass. Panarin's there. Open man, Fox. Cuts in, save, Montembeault. Lafreniere tried to play it in front. It was blocked by Anderson. Trocheck has it back. Now Miller. On the board for Lafreniere, but it's kept moving by Savard. David Savard, his 34th birthday. Played 10 seasons with Columbus. Finished up 1 season with Tampa Bay and helped the Lightning win the Stanley Cup. And then signed with Montreal.
He's really quite the story. He played in his 800th game the other night. And Sam, he was an offensive defenseman in junior hockey and had to remake his game to stay in the league and has become an excellent defensive player. Rarely scores.
Very valuable player. Riley Smith shot blocked by Matheson. That's the man we talked about. Whistle down. There's a penalty for cross-checking.
Now, so the Rangers with a 3-0 lead will go
Montreal, number 17. 2-minute minor penalty, cross-check.
Josh Anderson. Yeah.
The players weren't sure. In fact, they opened up the Rangers penalty box first, but there's the cross-check.
Yeah, the cross-check from behind. Now, if you look for positives on this Montreal team, one of them has been their penalty killing. They're second in the league overall. They have not allowed a power play goal here at home. They're 11 for 11 in penalty kills at home. So that's been a positive for them.
The Rangers power play 5 for 16, tied for 4th in the league. It's brought to you by Genesis. Trocheck, face-off win out to Fox. Panarin out to Fox and across to Zibanejad. Kreider's in the slot. Panarin fell down. Zibanejad to Fox. Now Panarin. Looking, shooting, save, Montembeault.
Oh, that's a good save. Panarin doesn't miss very often from there, especially with Kreider directly in front of the goalie.
Panarin again. Down low, trying to get it to Kreider, who's tipped away. Canadians trying to move the puck. A battle along the boards. Good job by the Rangers. Kreider got knocked down. Matheson was stopped by Zibanejad. Around the boards, kept in by Fox. Zibanejad pass blocked by Matheson, and it's clear. That was a good sequence for the Rangers. 50 seconds in the offensive zone. Second power play unit comes on. Fox dropped it back for Hedl. Hedl on with Smith, Lafreniere, Capo, and out K'Andre Miller. Canadians clear all the way down.
Yeah, now Evans, number 71 on the ice for Montreal. He played more shorthanded minutes than anybody in the NHL a season ago and hasn't been on the ice for a power play goal against this season.
Nice move by Miller, taking it deep in the zone, but it's taken back. Here's Evans. Evans, good rush up the ice. Check from behind by Hedl on the takeaway. 25 seconds to go in the power play. Kakko, good pass. Riley Smith, they score! Oh, beautiful goal! Philip Hedl. It's a power play goal. And it's 4-0 Rangers. Rangers.
Sam, this starts with Hedel making the defensive play that you mentioned. He came all the way back in the zone. Watch him, 72 right there. Makes a defensive play. Now here he comes. He'll get to the blue line, dish it off. Eventually he'll get it back at the net from Riley Smith. Beautiful passing play. Starts with defense. That leads to the 4-0 lead. Beautiful play by Hedel. No chance for Montembeault. But they're making a goaltender change.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think this is just to try and slow things down. I mean, Montembeault didn't have a chance on that one. Didn't have much of a chance on the other ones. And so Caden Primo
coming into the game.
Yeah, whose father his father Keith, he told me he was going to be at the game here tonight. So Caden Primo, as you mentioned earlier, Sam, played in that game in Montreal, or on Long Island, yeah, in the shootout loss.
That was a 9-round shootout.
Right,
Joe.
right.
What a start for the Rangers. I mean, everything going right. Great to see Riley Smith contributing the way he is. A goal and an assist.
Right.
That's an icing whistle down against the Rangers.
What a crazy first period. I'm still trying to figure out that non-icing call that led to the second goal. But Philip Hedel, they don't get much power play time, so when they get out there,
That's right.
They gotta take advantage of their minutes. It's just beautiful passing. Philip Hedel dishes it off to Lafreniere on one side, then goes to the net, and Smith from Lafreniere to Hedel, and 4-0.
Hedel's second of the season from Riley Smith and Capo Caco at 11:05.
Oh, pardon me, I said Lafreniere was Capo Caco.
Yeah. That's an offside whistled on the play. No, it's an icing again against the Rangers. 8:29 to go here in the first period, and the Rangers just playing some outstanding hockey. Everything working right. They're doing the right things, even under pressure.
Yeah.
When Montreal has put pressure on, the Rangers have done a good job.
Like Peter Laviolette was saying a few days ago, he said, we feel good about that. We know that we can score goals. And if you're a team that makes mistakes against them, I mean, they go up and down the lineup. All 4 lines have been scoring for the Rangers.
This is now 6 straight games to start the season in which the Rangers have scored at least 4 goals. Carrick to Brodzinski, and it's blocked. And how about all the lines contributing?
Yeah.
Brodzinski, 4th line player, scoring a goal. Philip Hedel, 3rd line player, scoring a goal. Riley Smith scoring a goal. Just an outstanding start. Shesterkin fires around the boards. Here's Victor Mancini. In deep, Savard. Oh, taken away by Mancini. Nice play. Panarin. He's tied up by Kirby Dach. Got loose. Shot blocked in front by Savard. Cole Caulfield was looking for it. Caulfield, number 13. Battling Lafreniere, back pass taken away, and out of the zone comes Nick Suzuki. Kirby Dach after it against Ryan Lindgren. Yes, Ryan Lindgren in the lineup, first game of the season for him. Strubble's pass redirected just wide by Suzuki. Round the net, Anderson, pass in front, they score! Nick Suzuki with the redirection. And the Canadiens show some life as they try to mount a comeback. It's now a 4-1 game.
Yeah, that's the first one of the season for Nick Suzuki. And as we talked earlier, they're hoping one good game really gets him going. It's his 6th point. And there you see Anderson from behind. He'll just throw it in front. You see Lindgren getting there just a little late, and through the legs, and 4-1.
Suzuki's first goal of the season, as Joe mentioned, but he does have points in 5 straight games. Wraparound stop by Shesterkin.
Well, what a save that was on Evans.
Ooh, Montreal, you talked about it earlier, Joe. They've been working and getting chances. They have 12 shots on goal.
Yeah.
Justin Barron.
They're dangerous. They've got these young players that can really score.
Matheson able to move it, but he gave it up to Adam Fox. Fox with an assist in the game. Has 7 assists this season. Pass across. Then around the boards by Riley Smith. Kreider back to Fox. DeAndre Miller toward the net. Glove head high by Primo, and he holds it. 6:16 to go in the first period. Philip Hedl gave the Rangers a 4-0 lead. Now it's 4-1. Question: which Ranger was the first NHL player to win the Hart and Lady Byng trophies in the same season? Post your answer to #Cadillac Trivia. I'm going to help you out on that one, Joe.
That's all yours. I know you got that one. Meanwhile, here's Shesterkin. Evans steals it from behind the net and then just walks back out and has a marvelous opportunity. Here's Jake Evans again. Ends up winning that battle, and Shesterkin comes up with a brilliant left pad save.
Man, they've taken a shot down from Montreal. They now have 11 shots on goal. Rangers have 11. Rangers with a 4-1 lead. Fox, little pass, brought in by Will Cooley, back out to Adam Fox. Fox comes down the boards. Fox shoots, save, rebound cleared aside by Evans, and he's battling Kaapo Kakko.
Sam, that started in the corner. Kaapo Kakko did a great job just fighting through that, working his way back to the front of the net. Evans tried to get him again. Kaapo Kakko was able to get the rebound and put it up high. But this is where it starts. And look at this battle. This is great for Kaapo Kakko. Get back in front. Here they come again. There he is, battling for position, and then gets a rebound, puts it up high, and they just, and Kaapo Kakko doesn't back down. Will Cooley comes in and gives him a little bit of help. And so,
2 minutes each for Kaapo Kakko and Jake Evans at 14:09, and the teams will skate 4 aside. Roughing is the call for each man. On the Montreal goal, it was Suzuki, his first from Anderson and Savard. So David Savard on his birthday with an assist. Rangers 4, Zibanejad and Kreider, Fox and Miller. Montreal 4, Caulfield, number 13 on the forecheck with Suzuki, Matheson, and Barron. Here's Zibanejad. Nice move, save, Montembeault. Oh, great move by Mika Zibanejad. And Montembeault with Primo with a save, excuse me. The Goaltending change. Caden Primo in goal. Around the net comes Suzuki. Now Caulfield moves it. Gets it back. Shot by Suzuki off the post. Good cycling in the offensive zone by Montreal. Suzuki just missed, cutting the Rangers' lead in half from 4-0 to 4-2.
Well, Peter Laviolette says this Montreal team reminds him of Detroit with those young players that Detroit has, where they've got dangerous players up front.
Fans alive with a go Habs go. Here's a move in deep by Hudson, but he was checked on the play by Braden Schneider. Schneider with Trouba, Trocheck, and Panarin. Schneider forced back by Kirby Dach. The guy neglected to mention one of the reasons Dach was moved up. They're missing Juraj Slafkovsky,
Right.
one of their top forwards.
He's out for at least a week.
Trouba down the boards. Panarin being checked there by Mailloux. Takes it around the net. Panarin. Mailloux staying with him. Good job by the rookie defenseman.
And that took a shoulder to the jaw from Panarin.
A takeaway by Dach. He moves in. A save by Shesterkin. Oh, remember that one. 3:40 to go in this first period. Rangers leading 4-1. Montreal has lifted their game. Here's breaking through. Hedl to the net. He is the post. And the rebound carried out of the crease. Rangers take it back. Hedl's pass tipped away. He tried to get it through to Riley Smith. Smith up the boards. Teams are back at full strength on the ice. Hedl off the deflected pass, shoots, and a save by Primo. In the corner, Hedl finds it to Lafreniere. Moving down, Mancini. Mancini hits the side of the net. Hedl with it. Now it's the Rangers' turn to put pressure on. Turning around, Sam Carrick, his shot blocked. Keeping it in, Mancini used his reach. Good play. Mancini looking, shooting, tipped wide by Carrick in front. Lafreniere, Carrick on the ice. Up the boards, Mancini is there with Lindgren. See the Chevrolet time on ice for Montreal. Long shifts here. Brzezinski's pass off the stick. Evans goes for it. Fox trying to keep it in.
Sam, that's been an issue this season for Montreal, where they've been stuck in their zone for long, long periods of time.
It was lifted down the ice. Miller turns it out. And the Rangers regroup. Miller to Brzezinski. He runs into a collision with Armia. They're both slow getting up. Armia shaken up. He's limping to the bench. Fox able to work it up to Carrick. Carrick for Edstrom. That was stopped at the line. Brzezinski's okay after that collision. Armia limped off to the Montreal bench. He's trying to walk it off. Minute 25 to go. Cooley's pass taken away by Suzuki. Up ahead, Caulfield. He moves in, and he's stopped by Schneider. Good defensive play by Braden Schneider. Rangers able to take it back. Hedl. Pass was a little behind him. Heineman worked it back. Heineman number 51 on the ice. Rookie forward from Sweden. Down the boards, Heineman puts it right through the crease. Under a minute to go in the first period. Rangers with a 4-0 lead. The first 3 goals were scored in the first 6 minutes, 40 seconds of the period. Suzuki, who has the Montreal goal. Kirby Dach, that shot went wide by Pezzetta. Now Dach. 30 seconds to go in the period. Lindgren on a takeaway. That help from Zibanejad. Pressure by Montreal. Kreider clears it out. Hudson had it knocked away by Riley Smith. 15 seconds to go in the period.
15 seconds.
Racing up the ice, Dvorak, the lead of Pezzetta. Pass blocked by Fox. Good job by Fox on Pezzetta. And that's going to do it for the period. Down the ice it goes. And that's the period. The Rangers with a 4-1 lead here in Montreal got off to a fabulous start. Led 3-0. 6 minutes 40 seconds into the game. Are they going to have they're waiting. The icing may have occurred like a fraction of a second before the period
Send them
ended.
to the locker
right?
rooms.
For sure.
You just send them off, right?
Both benches haven't had. Now the official says, yeah, get off.
Get off. Just go in and regroup both teams.
It's like 1/10 of a second remaining.
I mean, this was one of the craziest periods I've seen in a long, long time. There's Mika Zibanejad with this chance. And then good save by Caden Primo. And then Suzuki on the 4-on-4. That goes off the post. And then the Rangers turn the puck over. And you're going to see Shesterkin come up with a heck of a save. This on Kirby Dach. Dach with that chance, he's trying to make it a 2-goal game. Shesterkin kicks that one out. And then Philip Hedl, who's just been flying throughout this period, goes off the post. And then Josh Anderson does a good job on Lafreniere to keep it a 4-1
You know what?
game.
John and Valley can explain what happened.
It's all there.
Upcoming, it's the first period intermission report brought to you by your local Honda dealers. John Giannone, Steve Valiquette rejoin us from the studio in New York. They'll explain things to you. Bill Pino has the MSG 150. Tonight's opening night in the NBA for the New York Knicks. How about that? Rangers, a great first period. Got off to a 4-0 lead. Riley Smith with a goal and an assist.
Next intermission report. What a first 20 minutes in Montreal. Rangers score 4. They lead at 4-1 over the Canadiens. John Giannone in our New York studios. Let's go back to Montreal outside the Rangers dressing room, joined by one of the 4 goal scorers, Johnny Brodzinski. Johnny, there was a bit of fire wagon hockey there in the first period. Probably fun to play. Generally satisfied with the way that went?
Yeah, I think we gave up a few too many grade A's. But other than that, I think we kind of kept the pedal on that whole period. It was back and forth. Just limit the mistakes. Just a few turnovers. Other than that, I think it was a pretty good period.
Johnny, at the 2:05 mark of the first period, you score your goal. It looked probably to everybody watching that it was going to be an icing call. When did you know it wasn't going to be? And just from your mindset, take us through the goal.
Yeah, I was just pressuring my D-man. Eddie came through. He kept going. Right here he jumps through. I didn't think I could beat my D-man, so I kind of held up, which kind of helped. I think Eddie looked at that far ref. He was still waiting, so wasn't going to call an ice. Eddie beat him. He's found me out in the slot.
That's a great description. You score your first of the season. I'm sure it's important for you to get on the scoreboard on nights like this. Just take us through the mindset of a player who shows up at the rink, finds out he's going to play, or maybe shows up at the rink and finds out he isn't going to. How do you make sure that you stay as game ready as possible every day?
Yeah, I think that's the best part of being on this team is we have so many forwards and so many D that can play every single night and produce at a high level. So that's what it takes to be a championship team and to win a bunch of big games like this. So Lavi knows that anybody that he puts in the lineup can do a good job. So I think that's the biggest thing. Come to the rink expecting to play. If you're not, work hard, get back in the lineup, do the same thing.
Really appreciate the insights, Johnny. Thank you.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Rangers fans, don't miss your chance for early access to ticket opportunities and special offers. Register for the Rangers Fan First program by scanning the QR code or visiting NewYorkrangers.com/fanfirst. All 32 teams in action. Bill Pito puts the frenzy in frozen frenzy. He's got the 150 when we come back.
The Rangers Intermission Report is presented by your local Honda dealers. Contact your local Honda dealer for a great deal today.
Hockey League. All 32 teams in action tonight, 16 games. The Frozen Frenzy begins with the Caps and the Flyers. Caps shorthanded. First period, Nick Dowd 1-0. Later first period, Caps again shorthanded. Andrew Mangiapane here makes it 2-0 in favor of the Caps. They're up 3-1 over John Tortorella's Flyers. Coach, your thoughts? He's going to snap a tooth. Wild and the Panthers, Paul Maurice, a coach in Florida, got a contract extension today. His team getting hammered. Marco Rossi here for the Wild, who haven't traveled, or trailed, I should say. They haven't trailed all season. 22 seconds after that, Marcus Johansson makes it 2-0 Minnesota. Now 5-1 Wild in the second period. On MSGSN tonight, we have the Devils against Tampa Bay. Devils coming in 5-2-1. This is Jack Hughes. Makes it 1-0 Devils. Right now, this game is 2-2, playing period number 2. One game last night, Toronto beat Tampa Bay 5-2. Anthony Stolarz in net made 32 saves. None better than this one right here, robbing Jake Gensel. Steve, what do you have?
I'm high on Stolarz. I told you guys, he's legit.
Watch this. Great work to prevent that from going over the line.
He's a gamer.
Leafs bouncing back after losing Saturday night to the Rangers. Macklin Celebrini, #1 overall draft pick last June, expected to miss another 2 weeks with a lower body injury. Got hurt in the October 10th season opener. The Devils traded goalie Vitek Vanacek to San Jose last March, and for some reason, the spelling of the last name is still an issue. Here it is. V-A-N-A-C-E-K,
No.
but it should be V-A-N-E-C-E-K. Change the A to an E. We have a Tony DeAngelo sighting. Now playing for SKA in the KHL.
What could go wrong?
A goal there, the assist from another former NHLer, Evgeny Kuznetsov. DeAngelo, of course, a former Ranger, played for Carolina last season. College hockey, Robert Morris hosting Miami University of Ohio Saturday night in Pittsburgh, downtown. So bring out the former Stillers. Defensive lineman Brett Kiesel on the left went to Robert Morris, and Big Ben Roethlisberger on the right went to Miami University in Ohio. Robert Morris won the game by the score of 4-1. You're up to date. That is your MSG 150 presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer today and get behind the wheel of the Audi model you've always wanted. All Rangers after 1 in Montreal. Back with John and Steve after this.
20 minutes. John Giannone, Steve Valiquette, 24 combined shots on goal in that first period. 4 by the Rangers went in.
Did you see the comment from Nick Suzuki last week when he called the team immature? I thought that period was immature on their part. You know, they have this big ceremony representing the 79 Montreal team, and everybody's in the house, and they're trying to go through everybody like it's a Sunday skate, and it's not. It's the NHL. I think that's on them. That's on the Montreal Canadiens.
46 combined shot attempts in the first. Johnny Brodzinski talked about grade A chances against. Watch out for that in a second. Sam and Joe have the call when we come back.
The Rangers Intermission Report is presented by your local Honda dealers. Contact your local Honda dealer for a great deal today.
New York Rangers hockey on MSG Networks is presented by Chase. Check out our emphasis stat line. First time in franchise history that the Rangers, the New York Rangers team, has scored 4 goals or more in each of the first 6 games of the season. Well, you're right, Joe, when Peter Laviolette said they can score goals.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Sam, they scored 4 goals in the first period. And the Rangers only had 1 player that had more than 1 point, and that was Riley Smith. Everybody else, so you go up and down the lineup, and a lot of 1-point performances have led to the 4-0 lead.
All right, now you saw what went on in Montreal's pressure. Here's Gallagher trying to make a play. How do the Rangers have to play this second period?
You know, Sam, I just think it's a reminder again about, we heard the interview between periods. You know, cut down on the chances against.
Trouba open, save by Primo. Good shot.
Montreal doesn't have an answer for the Rangers when the Rangers have the puck in the offensive zone as they do now. I mean, they're just controlling everything.
Lafreniere, Panarin and Trocheck on with Trouba and Schneider. Rangers cycling. Panarin, Trocheck, Trouba. Shot deflected away.
You know, they look like they're in a power play.
That's right.
This is even strength.
Trocheck to Panarin, he hit the post. 2 posts in the game for the Rangers. Trouba to Panarin again. Shot blocked. Deflected out of play by Jake Evans.
I mean, they get it down here, and that's why, you know, in answer to your question, again, I think the emphasis from the coaching staff, and probably even the players themselves, amongst themselves, saying, come on, let's defend a little bit better. Let's help out our goaltender a little bit more. because once they get it down the other end, and there's the shot from Panarin that goes off the post, Primo, gets out, but, it was that close to making this a 5-1 game.
Zibanejad, Kreider, and Smith on with Fox and Miller. Up the boards, past Caulfield. He missed it, but it's played away by Shesterkin. Good hustle by the Canadiens, and the pass given away to Riley Smith, and it's sent in by Kreider. Carried out by Justin Barron. Pass behind Kirby Dach. Shesterkin and Miller. Taken away by Dach. Around the net, Caulfield. Put it out in front all the way through to Barron for a shot. Save, deflected away. Here's Barron again. Nice move by Matheson. Down low, a deflection, a save by Shesterkin on Anderson. That pass to the line, kept in by Matheson. Around the boards. Kept in deep by Barron. Out to David Savard. And now it's Montreal's turn to keep the puck in the Ranger zone. It winds out, and Kreider able to dump it in. Rangers change. Struble, Hayden Struble and David Savard on defense. Savard lifts it out. And stopped by Mancini and whistled down. Touch with a high stick, I believe, is the call.
Yeah, the Rangers have a long shift in the offensive zone, and the Rangers turn the puck over, and Montreal went to work, and then there's a deflection in front. Kirby Dach is there, and then Matheson with this nice move, and Kirby Dach again, this time on the redirect, and Shesterkin stopped that one.
Rangers touch the puck with a high stick, bringing the face-off deep in the Ranger zone. Sent around the boards by Lindgren. Chad Ruhwedel and Zach Jones healthy scratches on defense for the Rangers. That was centered by Armia. Matt Rempe, a healthy scratch. Rangers still without Jimmy Vesey, on long-term injured list. And we always wish him well. In a speedy recovery from his injury.
He's an important part of this team, Jimmy Vesey.
Savard with a pass across. Struble back the other way. Pass is behind. And back comes Will Cooley. Drops it off. Taken off the boards by Mancini. Savard able to clear it out. Brought back in by Heineman. Dropped it off for Kapanen. Hard hit along the boards by Pezzetta. In deep, Dvorak, number 28, up the boards for Hudson. He was taken down by Brzezinski. Donnie Brzezinski with a goal in this game.
The puck has dropped, but there's still time to get in on all the live action on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Scan the QR code now and start making every moment more.
Sam, you mentioned earlier Michael Pezzetta that playing in his first game. Remember when we've seen him in the past? It doesn't look the same, right? He had the long flowing hair.
Yeah.
Right before training camp, he got it all cut off and donated it all so that they could make wigs for people with cancer.
Awesome.
And so it was a great gesture by Michael Pezzetta.
Good job by him. He's always been a tough player, physical player.
Yeah.
Hudson's pass out of the zone. That's an offside. Brzezinski still in the zone. Made the touch. We're 3:49 into the second period. Rangers completing a 3-game road trip. They'll go home to play the Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers Thursday night at Madison Square Garden. And their head coach, Paul Maurice, got a nice contract extension.
Yeah.
Congratulations to him.
And his team said, we're going to take the night off because of that. They're trailing Minnesota at home 5-1.
That's how they're celebrating, huh?
Well-deserved ball.
Yes. Schneider trying to control. He's able to spin away and clear it out. Schneider with Trouba. Tipped ahead by Brzezinski, played by Hudson to Dvorak. Christian Dvorak moves in with Pezzetta. Save off the right shoulder by Shesterkin. Sam Carrick took a hit but moved it out of the zone. There's Barron, brother of one-time Ranger Morgan Barron. In the Montreal zone, out to play with Primo. That deflects back to Primo. The boards for Josh Anderson. Stopped by Trocheck. Panarin. Open man Trocheck. Back the other way, deflected off the boards. And cleared out by Gallagher. Evans overskated it. Brendan Gallagher moves in. Save. Rebound wide. And a penalty on the Rangers.
Yeah, Fox takes the penalty, but it was Fox that made the play with his stick at the blue line that kind of gave the Rangers a little bit of an opportunity, but then it came back on Gallagher, and Gallagher is always around the front of the net. You'll see it play right there with the stick, and that allows Fox to get back in position. But as Gallagher goes to the front of the net, Fox takes him down. Montreal on the power play.
Montreal dangerous. They've had power play goals in 5 of their 6 games this season. They're 5 for 23. Fox for hooking at 5:02. Rangers penalty killing has been good. They've given up only 2 power play goals in the first 5 games. 17 for 19, taken away by Zibanejad. Nice play. Rangers have 1 shorthanded goal, scored by Chris Kreider. Matheson from Montreal. Rangers leading 4-1. Their early second period. Suzuki off the boards to himself. Moves in. Forced back by Trouba. Kirby Dach. Now Matheson. Suzuki moves toward the net. Great move. He scores! Oh, what a move by Nick Suzuki. His second goal of the game. And Montreal has cut the Rangers' lead to 4-2.
I think both Rangers defensemen thought Suzuki was going to pass the puck. And because they both end up playing the pass. You'll see Trouba in front and then Lindgren. And so Trouba moves over his man. Lindgren, I think, thinks he's going to pass it. And it's just a strong move by Suzuki. Just pulls it past everybody and then goes to the backhand for the goal. There's still a lot of time left in this game.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's one of these games you have no idea how it's going to end with the way things are. And so that power play goal makes it 4-2.
Suzuki, well, you mentioned, Joe, that Marty St. Louis waiting for Suzuki, the captain, to come alive.
Right.
He's certainly done that.
Yeah, he's been their most dangerous player in this game. 2 goals, hit the post on another chance.
Long shot from center ice, stopped by Shesterkin. Battle there. Evans comes away with a puck from Montreal. Evans around the net. The back pass broken up by Lindgren. Shot by Mailloux, blocked in front. Panarin after it. Taken back. Josh Anderson. Now Jake Evans. The back pass, Mailloux's shot was wide. Shanked it. Hudson around the net. He's quick. Jake Evans. Back to Lane Hudson. Hudson drops it off for Mailloux. All the way across. Missed by Lafreniere. Mancini lifting it out of the zone. Hudson right back in. Might have been hooked on the play by Lafreniere, but no call. Suzuki moves in. He's hit by Trocheck. Struble's pass out of the net. Suzuki puts it in front. Jaden Struble with it. Dropped it off for Kirby Dach. Lindgren able to control around the boards for Mancini.
Long shift by this group of Rangers.
Pressure, and it's taken away. Put in front. And a good play. Mancini gets back to intercept. Back the other way. Panarin to Lafreniere. And he hit the crossbar. Oh, the Rangers have hit the iron 3 times in the game. Savard fires out. Oh, that would have been something special for Lafreniere coming home. Struble for Doc. Miller on him, outside Montreal. 7:26 gone by. Second period. Nick Suzuki with a great individual effort scores on the power play. Rangers lead is 4-2. Used and autographed sticks, skates, and gloves. Bid today by scanning the QR code or visiting NewYorkrangers.com/fundraiser.
Well, that man right there nearly made this a 5-2 game. Beautiful pass and just a quick stop. Hard wrist shot over the shoulder of Primo and off the crossbar. Primo hasn't allowed a goal since he's been put in the game.
That is correct. Rangers scored the first 4 on San Montemo and chased him from the game. Miller up the boards for Riley Smith, who has a goal in the game. It's taken away. Back comes Kapanen. The setup save. Shesterkin fought off the shot by Armia. Zibanejad ahead, trying to get it to Riley Smith. Mike Matheson moves it to Oliver Kapanen. The Montreal second goal, the power play goal, Suzuki. Scoring from Matheson and Doc at 5:35. Matheson, that's blocked by Riley Smith, batted up in the air, and cleared out by Kreider. Taken back, Montreal, territorial edge so far in the second period. Kapanen drives to the net, was slowed down by Fox and stopped by Shesterkin. That's Kapanen, number 91. Lost it to another 91, Riley Smith. Primo leaves it behind the net. 11:15 to go, second period. And the Rangers zone cleared out quickly by Trouba. A little touch pass from Capo to Hedl. Philip Hedl with a goal in the game. Now Schneider shoots, scores! Whoa! How about that shot by Braden Schneider? And the Rangers regain a 3-goal lead. It's 5-2.
Yeah, Hedl's been flying in this game, Sam, and he makes another really good move once he gets the puck inside the blue line. Here he comes, Archie. He'll just stop, freeze, wait, and then Schneider puts himself in position. And a little bit of a flyby in front of the goaltender. I don't know if Primo saw this. He had kind of one of his own men were in front of him. And I'm not sure he saw that hard wrist shot by Schneider to make this a 5-2 game.
Second goal of the season for Braden Schneider. Rangers defensemen continue to add points on offense.
Yeah, I was talking to Braden Schneider yesterday, Sam, about about that move to the right side, or to the left side, pardon me, and he says, every game I feel more and more comfortable. He says, I love the offside when I have the puck in the offensive zone because it gives him a better angle to shoot, opens things up for him, and that was a good example there. Right-handed shot on the left side. So he's got the puck more towards the middle of the ice.
Schneider gets his 4th. Philip Hedl, the assist at 8:57, gets his 2nd of the season. He's number 4 scoring the goal. 2nd goal of the season for Braden Schneider. Philip Hedl with a goal and an assist in the game. In deep, Adam Edstrom, who had an assist earlier, his first career assist in the NHL. Brzezinski, open man. Mancini with a good shot that was stopped by Primo and cleared down the ice. And this will be an icing on Montreal. 10:15 to go here in the second. And things have settled down for the Rangers a little bit.
They have?
I think so. I think so. That goal by Schneider meant a lot.
Got a little quiet.
Oh, just
right?
calm down. Yeah.
Got a little quiet. But this has been a fast-paced, up and down the ice kind of game. Schneider happy with that one. He should be.
Canadians try to clear. It gets out of the zone. Played across by Fox. And sent in by Lafreniere. Fox down after it. Struble blocked by Fox. Struble again. Good job along the boards by Trocheck. And the Rangers take it back. Fox to Miller. In the middle, that's Lafreniere with it. Dropped it off for Panarin. Rangers circling. The pass tipped by Armia. Good effort by Joel Armia.
And the Rangers have stayed aggressive with all 5 players.
Lafreniere with a tough shot that's blocked away.
In the offensive zone, they just keep going.
Here's Panarin. Open man. Panarin. Oh, it was given back by Fox on the give and go, and Panarin missed it.
You know, Sam, I don't think Panarin thought he was going to get it back.
You're right. You're 100% right. It was total surprise.
He had a wide open net.
Shesterkin fires it out to the red line. Panarin plugged it down. 3-on-2. Rangers. Panarin save made by Primo, and it's cleared aside. No, it was just outside the zone. Lindgren put it back in, offside Rangers. 8:59 to go. Second period. Braden Schneider with his 2nd of the season. 5-2 Rangers. Rangers with 5 different goal scorers in the game now have 13 players. 13 different players have scored goals for the Rangers this season. It's up close to the top in the league.
Yeah, like Johnny Brodzinski was telling John, he said we have so many players that can play. You know, it keeps you ready all the time to when you get a chance, you got to try and figure out a way to stay in the lineup.
It's not easy.
No, it's not.
The two defensemen who are healthy scratches. Zach Jones has played well. Chad Ruhwedel played well. He was
did.
a +2 in Toronto.
Right.
And Lindgren back, healthy. Mancini continues to play well. Lindgren moves it up the boards and out of the zone. Jake Evans back in for Montreal. Trying to get it to Brendan Gallagher. Shot wide. Evans checked in the corner by Mancini. Hedl is tripped up on the play by Anderson, nothing called. And Lindgren able to move it. Out comes Hedl. 8 minutes to go here in the second. Will Cooley aggressive on the forecheck. Mayu with it.
Pardon me, Sam. Doc with a big hit on Hedl, and Hedl gave him a whack with his stick as he went down to the ice.
Shesterkin lets it go to Trouba. Off the stick of Zibanejad. Kirby Doc winds it deep. Schneider with the intercept. Up the boards. Doc against Kreider. Kreider moves it out of the zone. Justin Barron lost control. Montreal also missing a fine young defenseman in Caden Gooley.
Yes.
And they've got some injuries to good players, and Patrick Laine out for long term with an injury.
He got hit in the preseason game, knee on knee, and 2 to 3 months they estimate he'll be out.
Rangers take it back. The lead for Panarin was tipped. Good play by Mayu getting back. Takeaway by Panarin. Miller finds the open man. Lafreniere into the crease, was blocked with a stick by Primo. Rangers keep in. Fox to Panarin. Panarin checked by Doc. Out to Adam Fox. Now Lafreniere. That's blocked by Mayu. Here the Rangers again controlling the offensive zone. Fox to Lafreniere. Nice move. Glove save. The rebound loose. Mayu up the boards. Stop. Kept in by Panarin. Fox. That's knocked down and cleared out by Caulfield. And Newhook sends it in. 6:10 to go.
Yeah, it's one way to defend that line. Just keep them in their zone.
Lafreniere in deep. Takes a hit from Struble. Savard is there for Montreal. Poked loose, taken away by Lafreniere. Tried to get it to Edstrom. Chipped off the boards and knocked down. Nice play by Carrick. Carrick moves in. And he tried to bank it off the goaltender who blocked it. Primo made the play. Armia trying to get it out of the zone was stopped. Good effort by Mancini. Carrick stays with it. Lindgren looks, shoots wide. Around the boards and out of the zone, recovered by Mancini. Rangers have owned the puck the last couple of minutes.
Well, they get it in the zone, and that's where Montreal really struggles.
Armia back the other way. Checked by Schneider. Off the boards for Kapanen, taken away by Trouba. Out of the zone it goes. Justin Barron back into the Rangers' hands. Missed by Dvorak. He carried it into the corner, and Trouba was able to bat it up ahead. Taken off the boards by Barron. Stopped by Schneider. Trouba out for Riley Smith. Back the other way to Chris Kreider. In the middle, here comes Schneider. Glove save by Primo. 4:40 to go, second period. Rangers with a 5-2 lead on Montreal. and shop Rangers gear by scanning the QR code or heading to shop.msg.com/Rangers. There's good stuff there. We need to get some of that, Joe. How about Artemi Panarin? 6-game point streak to start the season. 13 points, getting an assist in the game tonight.
He could have had, thus far in the game, another 2 or 3 points easily.
You're
At
right.
the post, the setups he's made, he's owned the puck in the offensive zone.
That line, every time they're on the ice, they're in the offensive zone.
All 5 players, the way they weave and move and keep going and find openings.
Fox to the net. Fired it just wide, kept in by Miller. Fox got a piece of it. And off the boards, Rangers have Cooley, Hedl, and Kakko on. Gallagher stopped by Miller.
Yeah, there again, you see the Rangers defense are staying aggressive.
Cooley, a couple of nice moves, and he was checked. Backhander off the post. That's the 4th time the Rangers have hit iron.
And then Hedl with a chance and just went wide with it. And he had an open net on the rebound.
Kakko circling. Turning, shooting, save by Primo. Up the boards to Miller. Now Philip Hedl. Tried a nice move, but he was stopped. Gallagher got his stick on it. Miller. Gallagher after him. Miller spins away. Over the glass, out of play. 3:38 to go here in the second period.
You know, just this line has so much determination with the way they play. Hey, here's Cooley. Watch, he just won't give up on the play. He's getting hooked, stays with it, gets a shot, goes off the post, and there was Hedl on the other side. Josh Anderson coming back, I think, gets the stick of Hedl. There he is right there, and he has that wide open net and can't get his stick on the puck as Anderson takes him out of the play.
Rangers are out shooting the Canadiens 24-17 as they have held Montreal in this second period to just 5 shots on goal. Pass across, Kirby Dach, that's blocked by Schneider. Picked up by Caulfield, off the stick of Barron. Here's a breakaway chance for Lafreniere. Moves in, pass across to Panarin. Trocheck to Schneider and a save. And that pass hit off the net and came out of the zone and whistled down.
And a penalty coming up against Montreal. But again, Schneider, he could have had a hat trick in this game. He's getting chances. I mean, all these defensemen for the Rangers are moving up on the play. Lafreniere seems shaken up a little bit.
Matheson for roughing, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah, Lafreniere still hurting a little bit. Well, Matheson, number 8, right there, and he gets his right glove right into the face of Lafreniere.
All right, Rangers' second power play of the game.
How about the chances Schneider's had in this game, Sam?
You're right.
He's got 1 goal. He's had a couple other almost right on top of the crease.
Jumping into every play. This Rangers power play brought to you by Genesis. Rangers 0 for 1 on the power play. No, excuse me, they scored on the power play. Pass across, nice passing. And it's taken away by Anderson. Taken back by Fox to lead Trocheck. Fox. Panarin. Fox with a shot blocked by Dvorak. Kreider swings it around the boards for Panarin. Each team with a power play goal in the game. Anderson try to move it for Montreal. Now it's cleared out by Dvorak all the way down. Rangers power play goal scored by Philip Hedl. Zibanejad and Kreider trying to get back to Zibanejad, and it's cleared out by Armia. 1 minute to go in the power play. Fox to Panarin. And the lead to Zibanejad, in with Kreider, left it for Kreider. Looks around, out to Fox. Panarin looks toward the net, Goes outside to Fox. Back to Panarin. In deep for Kreider. Just missed. Trying to bat it out of the air and into the net. Zibanejad taken away by Jake Evans. Evans against Trocheck. Evans sends it deep. 25 seconds to go on the power play. Rangers second unit on. They scored the power play goal. Lafreniere moves up with it. With Hedl. Kakko. Riley Smith. It's taken away by Dvorak and Josh Anderson. Rangers take it back. Final seconds of the power play. Miller. Down the boards. Miller chases. Hard around the board. Power play is over. Kakko fires and goes wide. Under a minute to go in the period. Shot by Miller. Deflected. Goes off the glass. Trouba keeps in. Hedl. Looks around. Checked by Dvorak. Dropped it off to Lafreniere. Outside Miller. Jacob Trouba winds up. That shot deflected, goes up into the netting, and play stops with 34 seconds to go here in the second period. Lafreniere seems to be okay.
Yeah, it was a short shift after the penalty was taken. Of course, he's not on the #1 power play unit, but he had a short rest and then came out for the second power play unit. Trouba tried to put it on a spot where he could deflect it, which he did, but up too high over the net and into the netting.
Rangers with 25 shots in the game. Lindgren around the Carrick. Checked there by Mayu. Shot by Brodzinski was deflected away by Hudson. Here's Brodzinski. Shot toward the net, deflected wide. Edstrom was set up in front. Lindgren is back. He's battling Heineman. Final seconds of the period. Here comes Edstrom. Can he get a shot off? Yes. Deflected away by Primo, and that's it for the second period. Each team with a goal. Montreal got a power play goal from Suzuki. It cut it to 4-2, but then the Schneider goal turned out to be a big one.
Well, and the Rangers were better defensively in this period. Montreal was held to 6 shots, and so the Rangers did a much better job with the puck. They didn't allow Montreal. 1 or 2 occasions, Montreal had some offensive zone pressure, but for the most part, the Rangers controlled that period.
Coming up, it's the second period intermission report brought to you by Infinity. Back in the studio, John Giannone and Steve Valiquette will have their analysis with highlights of this game through 2 periods. Bill Pito, he's got the big day. It's frozen frenzy in the NHL. Everybody playing 16 games. Bill Pito's got it all on the MSG 150. End of 2 periods in Montreal. Rangers lead 5-2.
Welcome to the Infinity Second Intermission Report. A goal for each team in that second. Rangers maintain their 3-goal lead. It's 5-2 after 2. John Giannone in our New York studios. Back to Montreal we go. Outside the Rangers dressing room, the 5th goal scorer for the Rangers, Braden Schneider. Braden, Joe Micheletti on the broadcast was talking about, seemed like a bigger commitment to defense there in the second period. Was that what was preached, and is that what you thought you saw there by your team in the second?
Yeah, I think we were better. I still think there's things we can tighten up. I think we're doing a better job at killing plays on our end and keeping 5 guys tight in the middle. I think it was much better than the first, and yeah, I think that's the main thing.
You had the answer when Montreal cut the deficit to 4-2 with the goal. Take us through it.
I think we just got through the neutral zone, and Phil got it in delayed. I came in as a late wave, and I was just able to get a shot through, and fortunate it went in.
It seems like there's been a real attention to defensemen getting up in the play. Is that by design? Is that what was preached for tonight, or is that just what this Montreal team is allowing you guys to do?
I think it's more of a play style that we want to do. We want to make sure that we're playing 5 guys defense tight, and then we want to make sure that we're playing fast 5 guys up the ice. So I think it's a thing that we want to be doing. We want to be playing fast, and we want to be playing together. So I think it's just a result of us playing the way we want to play.
Always appreciate the time and the thoughts, Braden. Thank you.
Thank you.
Braden Schneider, one of 9 different Rangers with a point. Ranger fans, 2024-25 tickets are available. Get to the Garden this season to see the Rangers in action. Scan the QR code or visit NewYorkrangers.com/TIX. Games galore around the league tonight. Bill Pito has it all covered on the 150 next.
The Rangers.
Remember Dylan McElrath, first-round draft pick of the Rangers all the way back in 2010. He's on the Caps now. Look at him go with Philadelphia's Nick Delorier. A do-si-do, and away they go. Caps won this game 4-1. Another former Ranger, Matt Zuccarello, having an excellent start to the season. 4th of the year. And the Wild, who haven't trailed all year long, beat Florida 5-1. Tampa Bay and New Jersey tonight on MSGSN. Brandon Hagel, a natural hat trick for Tampa in the second period. All told, the Lightning scored 5 goals in the second 20 minutes. Here's Hagel again. That makes it 4-2 in favor of Tampa Bay. and then 252 after that. Hagel completes the natural hat trick. Now it's 5 goals on the season, 6-2 Tampa over the Devils playing period number 3.
Defense optional?
Dallas and Buffalo, we got 3 Bills in attendance. Alec Anderson, the lineman, banging the drum and then celebrates it with a quick chug of the beer. Rasmus Dahlin here in the first period, the game scoreless. Pass Jake Ottinger, but Thomas Harley keeps it out. Watch it again. However, it is 3-0 Buffalo in the third period. Toronto Columbus, Justin Danforth here for the Blue Jackets. Columbus is up 4-0 in the second period of this game against the Leafs.
Ooh.
And in Columbus, boom!
It's the Hildebeest.
Boom goes the
Toronto.
cannon. Detroit Islanders, MSG, SN2 tonight. Patrick Kane on the wings here. 1-0 Wings. That's where we are right now in the second period. Okay, Steve, Friday night before Colorado hosted Anaheim, we have...
What do you have?
We got goalies everywhere you look.
So it's men's league goalies.
Nothing but goalies on the ice, but no goalie in the net. So this is going to be interesting.
Oh, my goodness.
Steve, you weren't invited?
Yeah, Valley, these guys skate better than you or what?
I don't know. Slow night on the MSG network that we're playing this right now. Oh, my God.
Now watch the celebration, okay?
Goalie goal. Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Colorado Rapids, of
And now we
course.
got another. Join the crowd.
Why not? 3-person.
We're hurting for content on the 150 on this one.
We're going to make sure that Steve gets invited to the next Golden game in Colorado. That is our mission.
I'll pay to be there.
Old man screaming at clouds.
That's your MSG 150 presented by Audi. 5-2 Rangers after 2. Back with John and Steve after this.
In which Nick Suzuki cut it closer at 5:35, but then Braden Schneider reestablished that 3-goal Ranger lead. Rangers have outshot the Canadiens 25-17 so far through 2 periods. They have 51 shot attempts, do the Rangers, and they lead at 5-2 after 2. As we continue on the Infinity Second Intermission Report, John Giannone and Steve Valiquette. It's 5-2. It's about 2 inches away from being 9-2, with the posts being what they were.
Well, round object hits round post, square.
Correct.
That's the saying, right?
it.
I think that's the one you used
It's
to
the thing about hardest thing to do in sports is hit a baseball, right? A round object
There you
with
go.
a round yeah.
Well, we were close. And I thought the period was much better on the Rangers side. Defensively, offensively, just you need to pack it in a little bit at this point. It's 5-2 hockey game. Take it light in the third so you can enjoy the final 10 minutes. Don't have to have too much risk in your game. But the post to start for sure. Primo was saved by his post a few times. And I thought the Rangers were still driving play, but not with the same risk that they had in the first period, which is nice. The outside shot here finds a way because two Montreal players, again, are screening their goaltender. And there's a lot of time, there's a lot of space for the Rangers to do what they want to do. So in the vein of not trying to do too much, I think the Rangers can not take too much risk offensively by chasing it off the rush in the third period. I think more of the game in the third should be spent in the zone of the Montreal Canadiens and just play it that way. Pack it in, play it hard, play it tight, and get ready for
So that's what you mean by pack it in. You don't. You basically think 5 is enough, obviously, to win this game, and that they ought to concentrate on not allowing any more or scoring 1 or 2 more.
You're trying to sign this goalie, Igor Shesterkin. Okay, let's make a good, nice environment for him.
Okay,
you know, get in there, guys. Do your goalie the right thing here and just play in front of him. Let him see the clean lines of the ice and play tight to everybody. This really shouldn't be an immature period for a very experienced New York Ranger team.
Joe Micheletti mentioned it. Braden Schneider talked about it. The Rangers having a better attention to detail defensively in the second. Only 6 shots on goal for Montreal in the second period. Did you see that as well?
Yeah, I do. I agree with that 100%, and I think that's exactly what you should be looking for. Montreal is a very small forward group. By my count, it was 5 of their top 9 forwards are under 6 feet. They want to get out there and they want to be water bugs. They want to have fun. They want to run the score right now. They're going to try and play a wide open hockey game. Don't let them do that.
All right, see what transpires in the third. We'll be here to talk all about it on the postgame. Sam and Joe have the call when we come back. 5-2 Rangers heading to the third.
The Rangers Intermission Report is presented.
Heading through the third period, New York Rangers hockey on MSG Networks is presented by Chase. Joe, what's Alexis Lafreniere been doing?
I love everything about his game, Sam. I mean, he just, you know, he never passes up an opportunity to hit somebody. So he gets in on the forecheck, you know, finishes hits. You know, when he's got it around, you know, he goes to the tough part of the tough areas of the ice to try and score. And he'll also, you know, because of his speed and his ability to get to the open ice, he'll take the shot when it's there. But then he'll also set up his teammates. So his entire game, the way he thinks the game, the way he plays the puck when he plays the game, when he's got the puck, how he plays without it is really important, especially for his 2 line mates. And I just love everything he does with the he just, you know, his maturity and how he's improved every season since he's been a New York Ranger has really been impressive.
Rangers 5th time this season. They've in 6 games that they've taken a lead into the third period. They're 4-0 thus far. In previous games, Rangers will head home after the game tonight and play at home Thursday night against the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. Saturday night, the Ducks will be in. Here's Gallagher, missed the net. Good pass, sprung Brendan Gallagher in the Ranger zone. Lafreniere sends it in.
That's a mistake you don't want to make early in the third period. You're up by 3 goals, but you give a breakaway. You got to protect the middle of the ice.
Fox, long pass, tipped ahead by Kreider. Zibanejad after it, Matheson there. Zibanejad battles Matheson. Justin Barron pushes it ahead, stopped by Miller. Off the stick of Zibanejad, Barron. And Zibanejad on him. Back for it, Nick Suzuki, who has both Montreal goals. Here's Cole Caulfield. Now Suzuki. The shot deflected away by Zibanejad. Ryder's pass blocked by Caulfield. Zibanejad is there. Back to Fox. Rangers change lines. Jaden Struble playing it back. Struble moves it up the board. Stopped by Hedl. Taken back by Suzuki with a lead to Kapanen. Oliver Kapanen stopped by Mancini. Good play. Up the boards. Ryan Lindgren back in the lineup tonight. Playing with the rookie Victor Mancini. Struble, the outlet to Armia.
And Victor Mancini goes from playing the left side against Toronto back to the right side.
Hedl made a good play in the defensive zone. The 2-on-1 rush down low, broken up. There's a good play by Hudson for Montreal. Schneider will come out with it. 5 different goal scorers for the Rangers. They scored 3 goals in the first 6 minutes, 40 seconds of the first period. Edstrom and Carrick with Johnny Brodzinski. The fourth line, Carrick moves in with it. Checked along the boards by Hudson. Edstrom with a hit on Heineman. Montreal comes out. Hudson with a lead to Heineman. Save, Shesterkin.
And again, that's it's an odd man rush. Steve and John talked about just playing a good, solid, third period defensively. Especially when you've got a veteran group, which the Rangers do, and they've given a breakaway and a 3-on-2 here early in the third period.
3.5 minutes gone by here in the third. Evans had it chipped away by Panarin from behind, allowing Fox to take over. Panarin, pass missed connection, but Panarin picks it up, moves in. Lafreniere with a shot and a save by Primo. Good shot by Lafreniere, his 4th shot on goal. Penalty on the Rangers. Montreal 1-for-1 on the power play in the game.
Now, Sam, Keandre Miller took a big risk here. And, we've talked about how the defensemen want to stay aggressive, but this is a big risk by Miller. He doesn't have to jump in there when he knows he can't get the puck. And so now he puts himself in a position where he gets beat. He has to try and get back in the play. Now he takes a penalty. And Montreal has had a few chances here early in the third period, and now they get a power play, of which they've scored a power play goal in this game.
Suzuki scored it with a great individual effort. Matheson moving with the puck. Montreal with 6 power play goals this season. In 6 of their 7 games they've scored. Back pass Matheson with room. Down low. Caulfield. That's blocked. Nice play by Trouba sliding across. He's had a couple of big blocks, especially early in the game, but that was a big one on Caulfield. Rangers clear. Trouba and Lindgren go off with Zibanejad and Kreider. Riley Smith comes on. Braden Schneider, Adam Fox, and Vincent Trocheck. Kirby Doc lost control. Schneider fires it around the boards and out. Primo leaves it behind his net. 1 minute remaining in the Montreal power play. 5 minutes gone by, third period. 5-2 Rangers. Newhook drops it back to Caulfield. Outside, Matheson. Kirby Doc. Suzuki to Caulfield. On him was Trocheck. Good play by Vincent Trocheck.
Yeah, he really read it well because Caulfield was going towards the net, stopped and came back, and they tried to feed him with the pass, and Trocheck stayed with him.
Montreal offside. Tonight's Built Ford Tough Play of the Game is presented by your local Ford stores, Joe.
Well, you mentioned Trocheck early in the game with shot blocks. How about this one? He comes across, or Trouba, pardon me, and Caulfield, who can score from that angle, and we've seen him do it this season, and can really shoot the puck, and Trouba read it beautifully and made the block.
Jacob Trouba with 3 block shots in the game. Trocheck has 3 as well. Lane Hudson. Montreal moves up. Stop. Good play by Carrick. Cooley just lost control, takes it back. Tries to get it to Carrick. It's deflected and did not go in the net. It was underneath. Primo, finally the whistle blows with a scramble. Good effort by Carrick and Cooley.
Now, Carrick, he just kept going. The Rangers forced a turnover. Referee was in a really good position behind the net, and he saw the puck all the way. So the Rangers, there's Carrick first, makes that play on the turnover. And then one more time, Rangers forced a turnover. That was Cooley. And there you see the puck. It was in the crease, underneath the goaltender, but loose. And the referee in great position there to keep this play alive and let it go. And good job by Carrick. He knew it was there. Cooley, same way. And somehow Caden Primo was able to keep it out of his net.
Brandon Blandina, the referee, with a good job, as Joe mentioned. 10 seconds to go in the Montreal power play. Long pass was all the way down, around the boards. Played by Josh Anderson. Out to Lane Hudson. Makes a move. Hudson with a shot. Glove save! Oh, that's a beauty by Shesterkin. Trouba mixing it up in front.
Yeah, with Gallagher. You know, Gallagher is always around the front of the net. That's where he's made his living. And Josh Anderson now along with Schneider. They're paired up over on the other side. Two big guys.
Gallagher's been a disturber for 13 years,
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. And certainly some frustration with the score being what it is.
That was a big kill by the Rangers on the penalty kill, and then Shesterkin comes up with the Volvo save of the game, Joe.
What a beautiful save. And this is Hudson, the youngster, the 20-year-old, and with that shot, so quick on his feet, lets it go, and there's Shesterkin, makes a save, and then he gets in a little
20,
shot of his own on Josh Anderson.
Montreal number 11, 2-minute minor penalty, roughing.
All right. Chris Kreider going to the penalty box with Brendan Gallagher, each getting 2 minutes for roughing at 5:55. At last look at the save of the game brought to us by Volvo Cars. So the teams will skate 4 aside. Rangers with a 5-2 lead. Kakko and Hedel, Miller and Fox on for the Rangers. Montreal with Suzuki and Caulfield. Mayu, number 24, and Hudson, number 48.
Remember earlier on a 4-on-4, Suzuki had an excellent chance and hit the post.
Lane Hudson with it. Caulfield with speed. Makes the move. Backhander blocked. Good job by Miller. Miller moves it to Heedle. Heedle moves out with Kakko to the right. Miller left. Heedle behind the back to Kakko. Now Heedle drops it off to Fox. Makes a move down the slot. Hudson got a piece of it with the stick and deflected that pass as well. Suzuki with 2 goals for Montreal. That's intercepted, taken away by Heedle. Good defensive play by Philip Heedle. And at 10 remaining in the 4-on-4. Panarin is on with Zibanejad. Panarin moves in. Pass to Zibanejad, just missed as he was breaking toward the net. Panarin shoots, save by Primo. Doc moved it, and it's carried out by Barron. Justin Barron off the boards, taken away. Oh, big hit by Trouba, and Barron is down.
And now Matheson goes to Trouba.
Trainer Jim Ramsey, longtime Rangers trainer, is the head trainer with the Montreal Canadiens. He checks out Justin Barron. Got 17 minutes, 2 for instigating, 5 for fighting, and a 10-minute misconduct.
Well, Trouba's a punishing hitter, and again, his arms, his stick, everything are down. And with Barron, he's looking the other way, and he's just kind of leaning forward a little bit, and Trouba stepped right into him, and shoulder first. I think he got his chest first, and then hard to tell if he made contact with the other. And then Matheson, you saw that, challenges Trouba to the fight, and that's why he gets the 17 minutes.
So he is done for the game. Basically, he could come back with 1 minute to go in overtime if there was overtime. I think Marty St. Louis is questioning why Trouba did not get a penalty.
Right. Again, with Barron, you know, he's looking to the middle of the ice. Right-handed shy, he's looking to the middle of the ice. And Trouba, you know, so many times he keeps everything down. His elbow wasn't up, his stick wasn't up, and he goes right through you with the shoulder.
You saw Marty St. Louis not happy with the explanation from referee Kendrick Nicholson.
And I think, you know, when Barron, I think, saw him coming at the last minute, tried to put on the brakes, kind of lowered his head a little bit. It was too late for him to get out of the way.
So now the Rangers have a 4-on-3 power play advantage. with the minor to Matheson. Already in the penalty box were Chris Kreider and Brendan Gallagher. Rangers 1 for 2 on the power play in the game. Panarin, Fox down low. Trocheck and Zibanejad for the power play. Here's Adam Fox. Now Panarin with room. Pass deflected into the corner. Zibanejad. Fox. Will begin outside Panarin. Now Zibanejad saved by Primo. Good anticipation by Primo.
Yeah, it's really a good save there. The Rangers were patient, crisscrossing, moving around, trying to find an open lane for a shot. And Panarin ended up finding that open lane to Zibanejad, but Primo really came across the crease and made a good save.
In 15 seconds, Kreider and Gallagher will return, and it'll be a 5-on-4 for the Rangers. Kreider will just jump on the ice and join the power play. Trocheck on the face-off against Jake Evans. Evans wins it back, and it's fired out by Struble. Struble and Savard on defense for Montreal. Fox to Panarin. Open man, Zibanejad. Oh, good play by Evans. Zibanejad has it back. Fox. Now Panarin. It's a 5-on-4. Good save. With Trocheck standing right in front of goaltender Primo. Primo was able to look around him and stick out the glove and make the save.
Trocheck was thinking, how did that not go in? I mean, he didn't even try to deflect it. He was just there for the screen. Why don't you just kind of stand there? Get everything together. Right? Looks up into the heavens and says, how did that not go in?
Minute 12 to go in the power play. It's a 5-on-4 now. False start on the face-off. Kreider stays on. Rangers with a 5-2 lead. 12 minutes to go, third period. Trocheck and Josh Anderson for the face-off. Trocheck wins it back. Fox looks toward the net, moves down with it. Zibanejad to Kreider, trying to stuff it in. Primo with a big save at the post.
Oh, that's good again. That's really a good save by Primo. I mean, Fox was so patient. Just waited, and then 2 quick passes. One down low. There's the other one to the other side by Zibanejad. Here it comes again. Just so patient with the puck. And Kreider had to stop, I think, the first pass with his skate before he could get a shot. That gave Primo a little bit more time to get to that side.
Trocheck wins again. Fox along the blue line. Now Panarin with a wrister that went wide. Zibanejad back to Fox. Quick puck movement. Panarin behind the back to Fox. Fox brings it down and shoots. Save with a blocker by Primo. 40 seconds to go in the power play. Trocheck gets to it. Kreider hit from behind, got shoved down. Panarin for Zibanejad. Up ahead, Fox fires in front. Panarin shoots at the post. That's 5. 5 posts for the Rangers tonight. Fox with it. Now Panarin moving again. Finds Zibanejad in front, intercepted by Savard, but he gave it back.
No, he hit the referee.
Oh, he hit the referee. I wondered why it bounced right back. Here's Fox. Glove save, Primo. 3 seconds to go in the power play. Rangers have kept the puck in the offensive zone the entire power play.
Well, you mentioned the post, Sam. Here they are. That's Filipino with one. There's one by Panarin. Lafreniere gets in the act. Cooley on the short side. And then another one by Panarin.
And you hear that ding. Back the other way. Power play is over. Hudson shoots wide with a big slap shot. 10:40 to go. Lindgren moves it. to Will Cooley. Rangers lead 5-2. Kicked aside by Primo. Primo has done a good job. He replaced Sam Montembeault after Montembeault had been beaten for 4 goals. A little over 11 minutes of playing time in the first period. Good effort by Kakko with a hit on Suzuki. Kakko has 2 assists in the game. He's quietly been very effective. Caulfield around for Suzuki. It's by him out of the zone. Riley Smith with his second consecutive multi-point game for the Rangers. Shesterkin waiting. Now the glass. And out of the zone. Schneider brought it in. Stopped by Kirby Dach and back the other way. Newhook. Alex Newhook. Struble was stopped. Good play by Lafreniere coming back. Kapanen's pass across. Struble in deep for Newhook. Newhook checked by Schneider. The pass for midway point, third period. 9:20 to go. Cheer as Heineman had a hit on Zibanejad. In deep, Newhook. Double team. Miller tried to play it. Miller does. Up the boards. Riley Smith took a hit from David Savard. Miller lifts it ahead and out of the zone. Lafreniere sends it in. Under 9 minutes to go. Rangers with a 5-2 lead. Savard up ahead. Gallagher. Open man. Hudson to the net. The pass in front. Oh, it kept out. I'm not sure if Shesterkin made a save where it just went wide. Back the other way. Carrick. Save made by Primo. Another chance shot wide by Mancini. Just lost control.
Yeah, Mancini just fanned on the shot. Good setup by Carrick.
The other way. Shesterkin made the save. Shesterkin made that save on the last play down the Rangers' end. He's made some big saves once again.
Now that was only the 3rd shot for Montreal in the period. They had the early 2, the breakaway and the 3-on-2. Then Montreal went a long time without getting a shot. So all 3 saves for Shesterkin this period have been good.
Good work in the neutral zone by Miller and Lafreniere. Struble sends it up the board, stopped by Fox. Savard keeps it moving. Past the Dvorak. Miller has it. Now Lafreniere. 7.5 minutes to go. Lead to Trocheck. Takes it deep. Mailloux checks him. Miller to Fox. The shot blocked by Kirby Dach. Lead off the board, stopped by Fox. Dvorak trying to hit Kirby Dach for a breakaway. Logan Mailloux moves up with the puck. Coming down the 7-minute mark of the 3rd period. Kapanen ahead for Suzuki. A little change in lines and personnel by Marty St. Louis. He's kept Caulfield and Suzuki together. Kapanen is on with him now. Here's Caulfield. Cooley got the stick on him. It's a penalty. Cooley will go off. 6:39 to go. Rangers will be shorthanded, but they lead 5-2.
has to make another one here. I mean, this is just a fantastic save. Watch the left toe skate. That is a fantastic save. Gets over there, stretches about as far as he possibly can, and keeps this a 5-2 game.
Canadians on the power play, their third of the game. Cooley is called for slashing at 13:21.
And you know what, Sam? They didn't even give him credit for a save.
You're right. They didn't have a shot on the board. Suzuki against Zibanejad. Zibanejad and Kreider. Trouba's back after serving the 5-minute major for fighting. Trouba with Lindgren on. Around the board, stopped and kept in by Caulfield. Suzuki with a puck. And 2 goals in the game. Both Montreal goals. Nick Suzuki. Kirby Dach moves in. Lindgren is there. The pass misconnection goes out of the zone. Wayne Hudson back for it. Drops it back. Picked up by Suzuki. Moves across. Kirby Dach got knocked down by Lindgren. He was tripped up by Dach. Fired around the boards, kept in by Caulfield, and cleared out by Zibanejad. 1:10 to go in the Montreal power play. 5:45 to go, third period. 5-2, Rangers leading. Kirby Dach with the lead for Nick Suzuki. Here's Cole Caulfield. Back to Suzuki. New hook. Outside, Hudson. Looking. Right there is Riley Smith, who's on with Vincent Trocheck. Miller and Fox. Caulfield. Now Hudson. Moves up. Pass down low to Dach. Up the boards to Hudson. Suzuki moving in. Goes to Dach. That's blocked by Trocheck. Trying to break out, he does. Trocheck with Riley Smith. Trocheck, Riley Smith, save by Primo. Trocheck shoots, save, Primo. Oh, great chances for the Rangers, shorthanded.
Yeah, beautiful play by Trocheck. Gets in the shooting lane first, blocks it, then uses his speed to create the 2-on-1.
Nice move by Armia, and he stopped with a stick by Shesterkin. Power play is over. Team's back at full strength. Zibanejad after it against Struble. 4.5 minutes to go. Big kill for the Rangers. They're 2 for 3 on the penalty kill in the game. And lead 5-2. Trouba shot, save. Primo. Cooley trying to stuff in the rebound. Another shot. Score! Filipino with his second of the game. Found the loose puck and put it over Caden Primo. Primo did everything he could to keep it out. Hedl with his second goal of the game.
Yeah, here's Armia first. Goes off the crossbar, and then the Rangers clear the zone, and look how they just attack the net. Cooley is there, Carrick is there, they won't give up on the play, and then the late man coming in is Filipino. So give all kinds of credit to Cooley and Carrick for just not giving up. They're right in the blue paint with the puck free. Filipino just reads it, moves in, and ends up putting it in to make it a 6-2 game.
So the Rangers with 40 shots on goal in the game. 4:15 remaining. Lead 6-2. They have tied their season high, early season high in goals in the game. The Ranger zone, Pezzetta after it, checked by Mancini. Cooley comes over to knock it away. Mancini tried to move it. Pezzetta knocked it down. And Mancini regains possession to Will Cooley. And across, Capo Caco. Caco shot, he scores! Capo Caco with his first of the season. And the Rangers lead 7-2. It's a 3-point game for Capo Caco.
Yeah, he needs to do more of that, the way he can shoot the puck. Will Cooley was on the bench and he'll get an assist. He made the pass all the way across and then made a change. There's the pass. Cooley goes off, and Kaapo Kakko finds some room on the far side to make it a 7-2 game. Here it is again. Looking around, elects to take the shot, and he beats Primo on that one.
A big night for the Rangers. 2 more players get into the goal-scoring column. Brzezinski works it deep to Carrick. Carrick with a shot that went wide. Trouba with a blast and a save by Primo. Rangers just shooting the puck. Every time they get a hold of it with some room. Another shot by Trouba, stopped by Primo.
And now Josh Anderson chopped Trouba right across the right arm. Then gave him a little cross-check. Trouba now having words with Gallagher.
Gallagher doesn't want to mess with Trouba. That would be a mismatch. 3:13 to go. Rangers lead 7-2. Which Ranger was the first NHL player to win the Hart and Lady Byng trophies the same season? It was the one and only Buddy O'Connor.
You're right.
In 1947-48.
You're right.
Buddy.
What was so tough about that?
Oh, okay. That was my birth year. Buddy O'Connor. Marty St. Louis, Hart Trophy winner, and 3-time Lady Byng Trophy winner. Oh, what a great player. Hall of Famer. Boy, could he play. By the way, post your own questions to hashtag Cadillac Trivia as we answer the Cadillac Trivia question. The Rangers 2 goals in 38 seconds to make it a 7-2 game. Heedle's second of the game, third of the season from Cooley and Carrick at 15:41. Then Kakko is first from Cooley and Mancini at 16:19.
Kakko just missed on that shot. Just barely went wide to the far side.
Nice road trip for Mancini, a goal and 2 assists.
Kid's turned into a player, isn't he? Well, he's probably a player before this, but showing what kind of player he is. Played the left side, you know, being a right-handed shot. Now he's back on the right side tonight. Doesn't make many mistakes, that kid. Always seems to make the right play.
Lindgren, nice return for him. Rangers have given up only 1 goal at even strength. Gave up the power play goal to Suzuki. That puck deflects over the glass, out of play.
There's no better place to parlay than Caesars Sportsbook. Parlay Builder gives you all the game day action from all across the league, all in one spot. Caesars Sportsbook, the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards.
Follow MSG Networks on X to vote on the Montefiore Einstein Player of the Week. That man has a chance to get it. Igor Shesterkin looking for his 4th win of the season.
Has a chance every week to get it.
Cooley out with it. 2 assists in the game for Will Cooley. Capo Caco to Heedle. Can Heedle get a hat trick? Capo Caco. Lindgren shoots high off the boards. Played by Caco. Minute and a half. Joe, if this line can produce.
Oh, yeah.
Rangers are going to be really tough.
Again, they're so trustworthy defensively, and they've been getting chances, and, tonight they get a few more goals.
Edstrom went down, Edstrom in front, and did it go in? It went off the post. Another post. 6 posts for the Rangers.
And now Kirby Dach and
Caco.
Yeah. They came together out near the blue line, and Dach looked like he got hit with a shoulder or something in the chin. And they came together. Well, the Rangers tonight, they've made it tough on the goaltenders.
And that was
and
one.
Here's the scoring chance, and out at the top of the circle is where those 2 players came together, and then here's Edstrom that tries to slide it in. Another post. How about that?
6.
Number 6. Off of Primo, then off the post. And then there's Dach coming after.
And some frustration setting in. Long shot by Mancini went wide. Coming down to the 1-minute mark. Montreal had 11 shots on goal in the first period. Since then, they've only had 10. Officially, there was one that they didn't give credit for. So we saw on the replay, it was a great save by Shesterkin. In deep, Heineman played it back. Long shot by Struble, a glove save by Shesterkin. 42 seconds remaining in the game. Stay tuned. Immediately following the conclusion of the game, it's Mercedes-Benz Rangers postgame with John Giannone and Steve Valiquette. Highlights, analysis. I think Steve will be satisfied with this.
He's never
game.
satisfied.
No?
Ever.
No, he'll be
Never,
satisfied.
ever
Joe.
is he satisfied.
Thursday night, we're on the air at 6:30 with Rangers game night. John Giannone, Steve Valiquette, and Brian Boyle is going to join us Thursday night. He'll be between the benches during the game. 7 o'clock puck drop. Rangers and the Florida Panthers, who were beaten by Minnesota tonight. Florida 4-3-1 to start the season. Heineman for Montreal. Rangers will see Montreal again November 30th. At the Garden, and we'll be back up here January 19th. A save by Shesterkin, a backhander by Pezzetta hits the net, the side of the net. The green light goes on, the horn sounds, and the Rangers have their 5th win of the season. They are 5-0-1 as they win it 7-2. A great all-around effort by the Rangers.
Yeah, they just keep scoring. I mean, they just keep outscoring. You mentioned earlier, Sam, they've had at least 4 goals in each of their 6 games this season. And Heedle with a couple tonight. They're getting contributions up and down the lineup. The goalie's been great when he needs to be. And because there have been stretches where the Rangers haven't played that well defensively, but they got better the last 2 periods. They still have a few breakdowns when they did. Shesterkin was there to come up with the saves.
You saw the emphasis stat line. Rangers, first time in franchise history, they've had points in their first 6 consecutive games of a season. They are 5-0-1, 11 points. We'll be right back.